Enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
Enough is enough!
Let our kids live!
Let our kids live!
Put the gun down and pick up Jesus!
Put the gun down and pick up Jesus!
Hello everyone.
Stop the gun violence!
And on today, I stand in representation for my generation. Killing to the death.
It's a hurt to kill the skill. These ones in the streets.
Is to bring realization to what is really happening. And if we don't care, support, celebrate, enjoy our children, that's where they will land. The hearse should not be here to frighten them, but to have them know that this is what can happen and will happen if we don't take care of our children.
Morning for such a wonderful occasion. Actually, it's sad but needed.
Today's Father's Day, and it's an important and symbolic day for the fathers. Father King Carter, who can't celebrate Father's Day in the way that I can today, it's a tragedy. We have an obligation as elected officials to do everything in our power to make sure that the violence stops. It has to stop now.
Oh, and this is killing our future. So it's time to take
out of God that you would come down and help us to alleviate some of the problems and some of the gun violence that's happening all across this nation.
My ninth grade teacher was started the head doctor for her, Terry Wright. Understand this is very important that she made me the man who I am today. That's why I took the initiative to start this rally in Miami to take it upon Lauderdale.
What's the name again of your church?
Great Elizabeth Primitive Baptist Church here in Overtown, 160 Northwest 18th Street.
All right.
And Reverend Washington is also an educator here in this beautiful city. And
here now. And just in a brief, they're here now, so can you please give us a brief, why are we doing this and how is this going to impact our community?
Well, we're doing this simply because we want to stop the violence, all of the killings that are happening every day here in our community.
Tell us why is it so important that we bring this back to our churches, sir?
Make sure that we adopt every child. We've got to make sure that we know it takes a village to raise a child. That's why it all started right here in the church.
Obviously, I want to see the same crowd down here to help us with the issues. It's very difficult when we take our tragedies and turn them into something positive, and a lot of our parents have begin just dealing with events and activities. We want justice more than anything in the world.
The power of God is what we need in the community to stop the violence. We can't supersede God. God has to be a part of the equation. In the name of Jesus, praying now that you would touch all who are here today. God, we thank you for Brother Wright and all who are involved in the leadership of this movement. God, we stop now just to pray for those who have suffered.
We don't want you to take something you can't give. Don't take our life. Let us live. Okay?
Y'all know that we can't conquer this battle. You conquer it by trusting in the Creator. You come together with the cause and never exclude God. Pain is real, but God takes pain and uses it for gain. And when God puts you in a painful position, He is raising you up to bring folk out of their pain.
Right.
And this is why this march is taking place, because the dead can't live again.
Pastor right here. This is Blaine and Monica Smith. This is King Carter's father and mother. They are the grand marshals of this rally today.
Happy Father's Day, man. You know, it's just no better time than this. You know, we gotta stop the violence.
As you look around, you see our youth, you see our community, you see that the Florida Matistas have come together. What does that mean when we bring it back home to our churches, sir?
It means that we're in this thing together. This is not an isolated fight, but it's a unified fight.
It means a lot to me, you know, coming from the inner city, bigger city. You know, it plays a big role, especially we got to start with the youth between the ages 10 to 14.
We're dedicated to bring these incidents to closure. And that's all I have to say.
Change now. Time for change now. Time for change. Time for change.
2016 Stop the Violence campaign. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stated, and I quote, "At the center of nonviolence stands the principle of love."
Please stop the violence so that I will have the opportunity to grow up. And remember, Black lives do matter. My name is Juliana Sullivan, and I approve this message.
Civil citation program, and we do so much for our kids, so much for our kids. Our kids are everything, you know. Kids make up 30% of Broward County. The last time I checked, ladies and gentlemen, they make up 100% of our future, do they not? Yeah. These kids don't spell love L-O-V-E like you and I do. This beautiful young girl here, she spells love T-I-M-E.
And I believe that tonight, that we can make a difference, that we can stand up and say no more senseless drive-by shootings, no more unnecessary lives taken for no reason, no more of this. This is not the norm of the day.
Around the country because I refuse to let my child's death be in vain. I refuse as a parent.
He like, no, I run back in the gate and I'm just facing somebody like I'm facing the camera and I'm like, you seen King? And they like, nah, and I just look to the right, like right where these candles at. And my son in the corner dead. Eyes wide open in a puddle of blood. 6 years old, no paramedics, no police, no ambulance. I had to go through that. I had to go through that. And I don't want nobody else to go through that. But me, I'm a strong believer in what thus said. I believe in what thus said the Lord. A lot of people look at me and be very judgmental. They look at gold teeth, they look at tattoos, they look at my hair. But I go for politicians, police, that go for so-called Christians. Y'all don't know I say more than y'all do. There be some people out there with their guns and I go talk to them and I take the gun from them, what some police can't do. My pastor, Reverend Glenn Miller, he stand tall, he got gray hair, he wore blue suits and brown shoes. A lot of people can't agree to that. But my brother, I got all my brothers in church who look like me, something my pastor couldn't do.
Majority of those who died today were children. Beautiful little kids between the ages of 5 and 10 years old.
In Newtown, Connecticut, it is the scene of one of the worst school shootings in the history of the United States. 20 children were killed. 18 of them were pronounced dead right at the scene of the school. 2 of them were rushed to the hospital, hoping that they could save them. Those children died at the hospital.
The tragedy in Charleston.
Tonight, the community of Charleston is in mourning.
We woke up today, and the heart and soul of South Carolina was broken.
Roof accused of committing one of the deadliest attacks on a place of worship in United States history. Among the dead, the pastor of the church, Clemente Pinckney, who also served as a state senator. And just 3 people making it out alive. Among them, a grandmother and her 5-year-old granddaughter. This evening, the son of victim and high school coach Sharonda Coleman Singleton speaks out from Southern Charleston University.
I just say love is always stronger than hate.
So if we just love the way my mom would, then the hate won't be anywhere close to what love is.
Tonight, many wondering if Ruth targeted the church for its role in the fight for black equality.
And have equality in the sight of God.
In the decades leading to emancipation, black churches were outlawed in Charleston. Mother Emanuel became a bedrock of the civil rights movement. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. visited. And in those years, black churches were on the front lines, targeted with arson and bombs.
The fact that this took place in a black church obviously also raises questions about a dark part of our history. This is not the first time that black churches have been attacked.
The federal government opening a hate crime investigation.
Acts like this one have no place in our country and no place in a civilized society.
To Orlando, a city tonight saying goodbye.
This grainy cell phone video captures the horror from inside the women's bathroom as Omar Mateen went on a shooting rampage nearby. Outside the building, SWAT commander Captain Mark Canty planned a rescue.
During that entire time period, officers were rescuing people. The entire time we were doing things to try to get people out. And we got a lot of people out before that last breach.
He's holding on. He moved his own way.
Those trapped in the bathroom had no escape route, and as they desperately texted their families and police, the hostages became the SWAT team's main focus.
In case I didn't think I was gonna make it, I thought I was gonna die. And I figured, you know what, somebody has to know what really happened.
Today, Orlando united in love. Hundreds lining the streets outside the funeral of shooting victim Christopher Andrew Leinenen, whose mother spoke with ABC News just hours after the massacre.
The last thing I told him was that I loved him.
The crowd facing down and drowning out a handful of anti-LGBT protesters. At Corey Connell's funeral, even the mayor brought to tears.
I want you to know that our whole community is grieving.
She made him an honorary firefighter, a job he always dreamed of.
Being a victim of a crime that should have never happened, but it took a life. And now a mother is mourning because her baby boy is gone and can never return back from the other side.
Who would have thought in daylight that a child playing freely would take his last breath from another hand?
Oh, and this is killing our future. So it's time to take that stand and do everything we possibly can. Cause we say that we want a peace, but it seems that we can't have what we dream if we don't come together. It's time for us to make that change for our children's sake. My brother, with your weapon, please set me